Aloha, friends and neighbors. Rollin Frost here, Kona astrologer. Lucky we live Hawaii. We're going to take a look at the sky, and what's happening in the sky mirrors what's down here on Earth, and we're going to check out the last week in June, day by day for you, so that you can plan your week ahead and know when to hold them and when to, how's the saying go? Anyway, important things going on. Well, there's a new moon, June 27th at 6 degrees of Cancer, trines Neptune, puts Neptune back in, last week was the spiritual show, huh? But Neptune's still smiling pretty strong here, even though I didn't draw him real big. So let's get on with it. What's coming up day by day for you? Well, I've drawn up a chart for you. Here it is. Still got what they call the Grand Cross. The sun is moving into Cancer, and by the end of next week it's at 9 degrees. A week from your Sunday, that's where the whole mess started with Mars at 9 degrees, and the week after that will indeed be full of different obstacles, let's call it. So let's take a look at this day by day. What happens is we're going to run the moon around the edge of this, and as the moon makes angles to the various planets, they're the actors on the stage. It makes squares and trines and sextiles and oppositions. I put the good ones in blue and the energetic tough ones in red. This is the generic chart now. This is the way everybody behaves. If you had 1,000 people out there, and you go watch all 1,000, they'd all behave like this. But it isn't your chart. So if you're watching a Thursday show, the moon's in Aries, and when you get to Friday morning, all of a sudden there's angriness. People are rushing. There's a lack of control. I'm starting to call this road rage. It might be the rage of that young man who couldn't get a girl, but, it might be territorial is the way it looks. At any rate, it starts early with the square to Pluto. Territory, power and control issues. Then it goes to the opposition to Mars an hour later, and the fire is lit. The god of war is out. Let's fight. It gets physical, hots and sharps. And finally, there's a conjunction to Uranus here. Maybe a little brotherhood comes on. The media might have been the cause of a whole bunch of this stuff. I don't know. But it's an electric, violent experience. And you will see it reviewed on the media, I'm sure. Probably almost real time. So, Friday, June 20th. Going to make it. You get out of Friday without feeling all alone or disturbed, let's say. You're one of the very lucky ones, maybe a third of the people. Moon's still in Aries Saturday morning, and here's the South Node, which is, I need help. Happens here at breakfast Saturday. The moon shifts into Taurus, dinner time or so, Saturday the 21st. The vibes all change. Saturday night after dinner, there's a sextile to the sun, and we got a plan here. We can get things done. You can communicate it. There's Mercury too. The moon's still in Taurus on Sunday, and starts with a classic, because here's the sextile to Neptune, and it's on Sunday. It's church day. Its sun is for the Father, huh? You're not supposed to work. Supposed to take a day off and be with Father, the sun in the sky. Monday is Moon's Day. Yeah, attend to moon stuff. But on Sunday, I get up early Sunday, go out and sit on the beach or the rocks, or be with your pets, develop your sensitivity, get some telepathy going, be with nature. It gets some real exploration done. Here's Sunday night. There's a trine to Pluto. Boy, we got into some deep stuff. It doesn't let up much until you get to like 9, 10 o'clock. Then the moon opposes Saturn. Eek! It's cold. We run out of money and time. There's a chilling effect, and it changes. Monday morning's not bad though. The moon's still in Taurus, and you know there's a Jupiter time coming up. It's after the lunchtime hour, between lunch and dinner maybe, and it's a nice sextile. There's laughing and clowning, and truth and wisdom could come out. It's quite a nice day. Real late, there's Venus peeking her head around the corner, and it's a Venus day, huh? So, you know, you'll catch her kind of early in the morning, Tuesday morning, or late Monday night. I mean, it's such a neat day, Monday night, with Jupiter there, and then later on Venus. The sweets are there in the evening. Wow, nice. Could continue through most of Tuesday morning, but now here's that square from Neptune. A lot of the girls could be confused here towards the latter part of next week. Neptune comes in. Whoa, there's confusion, there's delusion. What happened? Somebody got lost. Continues through Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, the moon, Gemini, the moon goes into Gemini Tuesday morning. You know, so a lot of this lost feeling is communication, transportation stuff. It all clears up, you know, with that nice sextile to Uranus, and the higher mind and rationalism and secularism comes up, and use your mind and common sense. And there's a trine to Mars. So you can get the young people. Why, you know, the young guys in the army and in the jails, they should really be raging environmentalists instead of getting in the way. And here's a time when they'll all figure that out. Wednesday morning, Moon in Gemini, sextile Uranus, and trine Mars. Together they're a force that can't be defeated. They stopped, you know, all the guys on one battleship stopped the Great War. You know, World War I. And all the great wars have been stopped by 3,000-4,000 soldiers got together and said, stop this, and they had to, including Vietnam with the Hornet. Anyway, enough of that. There's a brotherhood, and you'll feel it Wednesday morning. On Thursday, the moon's still in Gemini till before lunch, and it goes into Cancer. And, you know, you're communicating the beginning of the morning Thursday, but once it goes into Cancer, you're facing the new moon, which happens late Thursday night, really early Friday morning, and it's a new moon trine Neptune. It's really in favor of old Neptune. So, you know, the priest, artist, doctor, and all your higher training can be, you know, continued after this new moon for a whole month. You know, go out and listen to, you know, all the Hawaiian birds, the names of the birds are actually the little words that the birds say. They say their own name. So the Evie goes, Evie. It's true. And I think, anyway, there's a lot of magic in the natural kingdom, and telepathy is a key. And talk to dogs and cats, and talk to cats with your eyes. Make your eyes little slits, you know, and they love you. You make them real big, you scare them. Say to your dog, sit, and he won't sit, but you say sit and have a picture in your head. Telepathically send him that picture. He'll see the picture and he'll sit. It's not the words, it's the telepathy picture. Try it on a dog. Anyway, nice Thursday. You know, it says there's a whole month when we can understand Neptune and the ocean and the fisheries and some of the religious effort that people go through. Sensitivity training. The Dalai Lama says, develop your compassion. That's what Neptune has. So there it is, late Thursday night about midnight, the trine to Neptune. You'll be still feeling it through Friday morning, but gee, here's the glitch. The moon's in Cancer. It's going to oppose Pluto. Power and control issues. Friday morning squares Uranus. And we all feel alone, and the technical things failed. And there's a square to Mars. We've lost our temper. We're having fires and fights again. Young guys are blowing everything up. Ugh. Another terrible Friday on the Grand Cross. If Mars is going to leave there, you know. It's not going to stay there forever. But, you know, you can see that Mars goes up to 18 here at the end of next week. But Uranus is still up to 16. The Sun at the end of your next week, the Sun's at 9, Pluto's at 13, Mars at 14, Uranus at 16. The Grand Cross has really powered up with the Sun there. So you're going to see some things you'll remember here on Friday. It's a good time to stay off the road. Don't fight. Ask yourself what you're protecting. Try to keep a little brotherhood going, hard as it may be on Friday night. Saturday, in the middle of the day, there's a conjunction to Jupiter. And that can, lightning bolts of truth can happen here. And especially after the lessons we learned on Friday. If you're going to use electricity, keep one hand in your pocket. Fires, hots. Well, Moon in Cancer, yeah. After it hits Jupiter, we're laughing and clowning a little bit in the middle of Saturday, the 28th of June. And as you go into Sunday, the Moon changes into Leo. It feels very much different. It starts to get sexy. In the afternoon, here's a nice sextile to Venus. Yeah. And here's a trine to Uranus. And here's a sextile to Mars early Monday morning. So it looks like it's all about the young folks getting together, have the spirit of the revolution here in the environmentalists. And here's Romeo and Juliet saying, yeah, we want good environmental laws. We want freedom and equality, and we're all in brothers and sisters. Hooray! This is Sunday. Did I read too much into that? Maybe. Anyway, I hope you see some of it. Okay, here's the Sunday paper, June 1st. Now this is the same as that last week's Sunday paper had a big hurricane on the front. And so I went over some of the astrocartography for our hurricane season. Here it is again, and it prompts me to go over those lunations again and see what pops up. I'm sure I'll do it a third time as we get closer to certain things. But it's always a work in progress when you're doing some research. So this El Nino thing is kind of interesting. They made a big stink out of it. It turns out instead of having 4 to 7 hurricanes, we might have 4 to 11 or something. What was it? I mean, we could have 3 or 4 more hurricanes, and that's what their El Nino thing comes up with. Most of this article is about shelters and how terrible it will be there. Oh boy. Aside from all these experts on hurricanes, here's your big expert. I remember just before Iniki hit Kauai, there were cats walking up the middle of the street. When dogs and cats start to bail out, things are happening. I have a cat that's found a new place under a table. Oh boy. Anyway, you watch what happens with them and they'll give you some warning. The hurricane says the whole belt of hurricanes that generates them, and if you remember, well, we've gone over this in almost every year. You know, it starts over here in Mexico and it runs along this line of latitude just below Hawaii. And so if one of them breaks loose and comes at our island, it's pretty interesting stuff. But what they're saying here is that that whole belt is moving north. It's moving because of global warming and going north 70 feet every, where was it? Let me see. 70 miles each decade it moves towards Hawaii. So, you know, that's 10 years and it only goes 70 miles. So there's a lot of stuff in here that at first the headlines say, oh, scary, scary, but when you look at it, they're expecting, instead of 7, they're expecting 3 more or something. But this is all done on a basis of what happened in 92 and 94, and the El Nino that we're having here is not real strong. It's a more weak. Here's Iniki. I had 2 little gingerbread cabins over on Ama'o Road in Poipu side, and I had almost finished them off, and Aniki turned him into this. Oh, wow. Never saw anything like it. Hope I never see anything like it again. Did you know that hurricane is a Mayan word for their huracan, is a one-legged, twirling, limping deity? Clearly Uranus, because Uranus limps a lot. Anyway, yeah, the Mayans, of course, have hurricane after hurricane, so they were very interested in predicting these things, and they had the best astrology in the ancient world, you know. Now, here's a basic rule. It's the stations. What you're looking for, it's like Shakespeare said, that, you know, they're all actors on the stage, and we've got the planets are the actors. And we've studied them for 20,000 years, so we know their personalities. In this case, we're interested in Uranus, which produces wind damage. But the stations, see, when you watch these planets, as they go across the sky, they make these motions like this. And they call it's stations here. Then it retrogrades, and it stations there and direct. So these are the points when it's moving really slow, is when the actors stand up on stage. Like Shakespeare said, they all have their time to stand up. And when a planet stations in the sky mirror, well, you know that actor in your life and on the world scene is going to stand up and do a part. Now, the other thing that energizes these planets, these actors, is lunations. Yeah, if you have a full moon or a new moon, and it makes an angle to, that's what we're going to see at the end of this year. If the heaviest trip is a full moon. If a full moon opposes a planet, that's like people who are over emotional are full moons, and if they're opposed to that planet, they're going, eek, that actor. And then you know that the actor is acting out on the stage. Full moons can be squared and produce over-emotional reactions to that planet, that actor who's now taking the stage in a way. Now the lunations, a new moon, say for instance, right on the actor, gives him power, and he's going to get up and do some stuff, and it could be, everybody's going to be watching, okay, because the stage is his. So new moons also, and probably, you know, quarters and three-quarters. I'm studying on that a little bit. But the full moons and the new moons accent the actors. That's what you're looking for, the accent. So accents are lunations and their stations. Now this applies to your natal chart, by the way. Yes. If you look at your natal chart, you have to do a little bit of work in the ephemeris to find out if a planet was stationing near your birth. Then in your natal chart, it becomes one of those energized actors on the stage. So lunations and stations also have to do with your own chart or any chart that you're studying. You got to know the lunations, energizing actors, planets, and stations, energizing actors, planets. Okay, those are the two basic rules. You learned that, boy, you just got your PhD in astrology. So this is about the ephemeris, huh? And you can buy these for $20. Oh, mine's so beat. But you get a nice new one for $20. Go to Amazon. Now, I got a noon ephemeris for noon GMT because instead of midnight, because that's 2 a.m. in the morning here in Hawaii. So you go through your ephemeris, and what you're looking for is like the stations. You find the stations by looking for the little N's, like the one you're sitting on. We've been studying as the station of Neptune. And a station has a 20-day on either side effect. Okay? Yeah, for 20 days there's an effect on either side when a planet stops. So if the planet stations here, what you get is 20 days on this side, 20 days on this side. Here's the peak. It's one of those normal bell-shaped curves like that. Of course, there'll be little jumps in it and pits, and it's not all even because other planets impact, what the actor on the stage is doing. But, he's had the potential for being energized, has this curve on it. So I've gone through my ephemeris, and I've found 2 stations and 2 full moons that are of interest to me. One is the station here, the end of July. And I started marking out different things happening around this period within 20 days to see when other actors on the stage might assist Uranus to make a fuss, as it were. So what I've done is I've circled specific days, and all the days that I'm circling here have a orb of plus or minus 2-3 days, okay? So here's the station is on the 22nd of July. There's a new moon that conjuncts Jupiter and Mercury and squares Mars, which could be angry winds, on the 26th of July. Okay, and I don't know what happened on August 2nd, but so we got 7/22, 7/26, and 8/2, all plus or minus a couple of days as probable times when Uranus is going to stand up and make a fuss on the world stage. And in the kind of ephemeris I use, the full moons and new moons are down at the bottom right, and there you can see a full moon on the 8th at 15 Aries 05. And there's Uranus at 14 Aries 29. So we have a full moon right on Uranus. Now this has a different orb. It comes on a couple of days before the full moon, which would be, October 4th or 5th, and it goes for a month essentially while there's full moon energy. Uranus is being a bit of a lunatic. It goes clear in to November 6th. And so I went through and tried to pick out a few times when, oh, by the way, there's a grand trine in fire going on here. So Mercury retrogrades October 4th and goes through retrograde till October 25th. So we circled the day of the full moon, October 8th, and then here's when Mercury stations at 16 Libra opposing Uranus, October 25th. So October 8th and October 25th are likely dates for action in October. And our final candidate is in December. Uranus actually stations here. And you see the little D at 12 degrees 34 minutes, which incidentally it stationed July 17th, 2013. It stopped at the same place. You go back and look at the middle of July 2013, stuff that happened like earthquakes and weird things there, going to happen in the same place again. Anyway, what we're into here is 20 days on either side of this, and here's a station that's pretty strong, and there's even a full moon a little later here, January 5th. There's a full moon at 14 Cancer, squaring Uranus at 13 Aries. So that kind of could be a player on the stage too. So when I look at the dates in December, I've got 12/21, which is the date that stations, and plus or minus a few days, very strong. And then there's that full moon on January 5th, plus or minus a few days. Whoa, here's transiting Mercury squares Uranus when wind gets strange and could be a problem on December 24th. So we've got one December 24th, January 5th, December 21st. And there is a full moon on December 6th that shows up in Hawaii. Now we're going to start looking at place. We've got Stuff's going to happen on the world stage here during these times. The question now gets to be, where? Okay, so here I have a full list of these full moons, new moons, and the quarters. And I've set the location for Kona, so I can look at a full moon here, or a new moon, and then quickly look at the chart to see if there's anything impacting the angles of the chart with Uranus here in Kona area. That's the exercise. Okay, this is kind of fast. June 26th, new moon, nothing. July 5th, quarter, nothing. July 12th, Saturn problems, but it's not Uranus. July 18th, 3/4, nothing there. New moon, July 26th, and no, Uranus is not a problem. First quarter, August 3rd, not a problem. Full moon, August 10th, not the problem. Okay, now let's take a look at the October period. I start with a September 23rd new moon. No Uranus action. First quarter, October 1st. Jupiter maybe. A full moon, October 8th. This is a full moon on Uranus. This guy could be difficult for somebody in the world, but it doesn't seem focused on Hawaii at all. October 15th, look downwind a little bit. Here's Neptune at the bottom, some flooding maybe on the home ground after October 15th for a couple of weeks. New moon, October 23rd. Again, this one has potential to have Uranus out in the ocean and have wind out in the yard and to have some signage knocked down. Yeah, it does. Well, we found one. The new moon, October 23rd. Yeah, it shows in Hawaii. Some panic, Pluto's on the rising, Uranus in the third squaring the rising sign, some services opposing Mercury, the ruler of the sixth. Some services could be curtailed during the wires down and stuff, and storm warning. The next lunation down is a 1/4 moon, October 30th, and here's Mercury opposed, the ruler of the third, so we still got transportation, communication problems. This could indicate some damage occurred, out there in the environment. Yeah, I'm running out of time. The December 6th full moon is Sirius, and it gives us several dates, including 12/24 when Mercury squares it, January 5th,